That day, Buckingham Palace hosted a scheduled royal event as previously announced. Thousands of camera lenses were focused on the ceremonial area. Solemn music filled the air, and the crowd gathered around. Camilla, the current queen, did not appear at the event she had been expected to attend. No official explanation or announcement was given for her absence. Instead, standing beside King Charles was Kate Middleton, dressed formally and positioned at the center. The change was immediately noted by the media and onlookers. Reporters quickly captured photos and footage, paying close attention to Kate's position next to the king. This image was a stark contrast to previous events, where Camilla typically stood close to Charles on similar occasions. Among the photographs taken, Kate's appearance alongside King Charles created a visible difference compared to usual events. The royal schedule, the order of members' positions, and the day's activities all reflected this shift in arrangement. To understand the reasoning behind Charles' decision and the related changes in the positions of royal family members, it is necessary to review the events of the preceding months, when the king was undergoing health treatment and decisions regarding power and representation within the royal family were being made. During the months of Charles' treatment, Buckingham Palace recorded a noticeable shift in internal authority. Camilla, the current queen, assumed greater responsibility in coordinating the royal schedule. Ceremonies, events, and the king's trips were all coordinated, reviewed, and managed by Camilla and her team of trusted aides. Beyond scheduling, Camilla also took primary responsibility for reviewing press releases, controlling the royal family's public image, and assigning personnel for important events. During the same period, the positions of William and Kate within the royal family underwent a clear change. William, as heir apparent, and Kate, his wife, were often excluded from key meetings regarding the royal schedule or decisions on media messaging. They still attended public events but did not participate in decision-making and were not granted official representation at major occasions. This significantly reduced their influence within the palace. Several of Charles' close advisors observed that power within the palace was gradually shifting toward Camilla. Decisions that previously required the king's direct approval were now subject to Camilla's consent and that of her aides. Advisors began to note that these changes were not merely temporary coordination adjustments, but a systemic realignment, creating a new distribution of authority. Every decision regarding events, statements, or the movements of royal family members was scrutinized by Camilla before being presented to the king. While Charles was hospitalized and under treatment, Camilla reviewed numerous critical documents concerning the royal family. These included event plans, guest lists, the order of appearances of royal family members in the media, and official speeches. Adjustments approved by Camilla sometimes altered William and Kate's positions in public programs, reducing their media presence compared to before. Assistants reported that Kate only appeared in certain pre-approved events, while many significant events that she had previously attended were now determined by Camilla regarding who stood beside the king or represented the royal family. Advisors noted that, in some instances, Camilla approved adjustments to royal representation without consulting Charles directly. Some international events originally planned for the king and Kate to attend together were revised after Camilla's review, with Kate almost entirely removed from the official program, her central position given to Camilla or other members she deemed appropriate. These changes painted a picture of palace power that Charles did not directly control in every detail. Throughout this period, Charles began receiving reports from advisors about the changes Camilla had implemented in delegation and representation. He noticed discrepancies between the plans before his treatment and the actual execution. Some press releases were approved by Camilla without the king's signature. Kate's visibility in the media decreased significantly, and certain major events that previously featured Kate were now coordinated by Camilla. When Charles recovered, he reviewed the entire schedule, documents, and decisions concerning royal representation. He discovered that Camilla had approved many changes without prior notification, directly affecting Kate's role. Some adjustments pertained to Kate's attendance at public events, the preparation of speeches, and her representative position in key occasions. The documents clearly recorded Camilla's interventions in the order of representation, staff assignments, and control over media information. For Charles, these changes were not just about schedules or press releases. They directly affected power and leadership within the royal family. Camilla's control over crucial decisions, while the king did not personally review every step, indicated a clear shift of authority within the palace. Reports from advisors showed that Charles no longer controlled the entire decision-making process, and practical power was leaning toward Camilla. This created a chain of events later regarded as a turning point in the royal family's hierarchy. Camilla's approval of changes affecting royal representation, while simultaneously limiting Kate's appearances and representative authority, was seen as the proverbial last straw. These actions forced Charles to reassess true power within the palace and the position of each member in the royal system. Summing up these factors, the root of the power shift in Buckingham Palace began with Camilla controlling detailed decisions, from scheduling and media to personnel assignments, while William and Kate were excluded from key decisions. Advisors noted this redistribution of power and reported it to the king once he recovered, showing that Camilla's actions had exceeded their original limits. Upon discovering that Camilla approved changes without the king's direct consent, Charles realized he no longer held the same level of control as before. Public events, the order of royal family appearances, and media imagery were all being adjusted according to Camilla's decisions. This was seen as a critical turning point, paving the way for a decisive response from the king. An important diplomatic event was scheduled in London, bringing together international officials and key members of the British royal family. Initially, Camilla was expected to be the main representative at this event. The detailed schedule had been drafted weeks in advance, including the order of royal family appearances, speech content, guest reception protocols, and official photo sessions. Camilla was tasked with leading the activities, ensuring every preparation adhered to the approved script. The royal media and staff worked closely with Camilla. Assistants prepared press releases, controlled the images disseminated in the media, and ensured Camilla's presence was highlighted. Every minor detail, from standing positions and camera angles to the arrangement of officials and guests, was overseen and approved by her team. Domestic and international media were informed of Camilla's central role, and reporters adjusted their schedules to capture key moments. However, only a few hours before the event, a sudden decision came from King Charles. He ordered the entire plan regarding Camilla to be scrapped and designated Kate Middleton as the main representative. This command was communicated directly to the event preparation teams, including staff, media, and security. All lists, schedules, appearances, and press releases were revised according to the new directive. Reporters, producers, and logistics teams were informed in a rush and had to alter every pre-prepared plan. This change affected not only appearances but also operational procedures for the event. Staff were redeployed, media materials revised to ensure Kate occupied the central position, photographers were instructed on the new shooting order, and guest reception protocols were reorganized to match the king's sudden decision. Logistics teams worked continuously to ensure the event proceeded smoothly. Despite the last-minute adjustments, Kate's replacement of Camilla was incorporated throughout the event script. Every detail, from lighting and sound to guest arrangements and officials' positions, was adjusted. Media teams reviewed all camera and filming points to ensure Kate appeared at the correct moments beside Charles. Meanwhile, Camilla's assistants were instructed to step back from central duties, transferring full control to Kate's team and newly appointed aides. When the change was executed, the stage scene instantly shifted to an entirely new arrangement. Kate Middleton appeared beside King Charles, standing in the central position previously designated for Camilla. This placed Kate at the center of the reception area, directly in front of the main backdrop, where cameras were focused. Lighting and broadcast teams quickly adjusted equipment to capture Kate and Charles accurately in the new layout. Reporters received guidance on repositioning, and cameras were moved to cover the entire revised scene. Kate walked along the red carpet, close behind the king, ascending the speaking podium. The spacing and order of officials and guests were rearranged according to Charles's final decision. This change created a new image on stage. Kate at the center, Charles beside her, with a positioning that echoed traditional royal ceremony. Observing reporters noted that Kate and Charles' calm position and posture evoked iconic images of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip at previous events. The press quickly described it as an iconic image, reminiscent of Queen Elizabeth and Philip. In his speech before the guests, Charles began by emphasizing the role of the next generation. I believe in the younger generation, and I believe in loyalty, not power. These words were broadcast through the sound system and live screens, and simultaneously recorded by international media. The significance of the speech was immediately analyzed. It was interpreted as a subtle statement about the shift of power within the royal family, with Kate appearing in the central representative position in place of Camilla. Reactions from the press and media spread quickly. Many newspapers posed the question on their front pages. Has the king replaced his queen? Commentary focused on Charles adjusting royal representation and the likelihood that Kate would take a central role in upcoming key events. The images and speech were widely circulated, prompting in-depth analyses from royal observers, noting that this decision signaled a strategic shift in both media presence and internal palace power. While Kate and Charles delivered the speech, royal assistants and staff continued coordinating logistics, ensuring everything proceeded according to the new directive. Activities such as guest reception protocols, seating arrangements for officials, camera and filming positions were all managed to align with the image of Kate standing beside the king. Every detail from lighting and sound to stage layout was continually reviewed to ensure no mishaps occurred during this critical moment. The image of Kate beside Charles alongside the king's speech quickly became the focal point of the event. Analysts observed that Kate's central position not only altered media imagery, but also signaled a shift in power within the royal family. This moment marked a turning point, with Kate emerging as a prominent representative figure and reinforcing Charles' faith in the next generation, taking over the position previously held by Camilla. Images of Kate alongside King Charles spread rapidly across media outlets and social networks. Millions of people in the UK followed the event through television, live streams, and online posts. Public comments emphasized support for Kate, praising her appearance in the central position beside the king. Royal fan pages, online forums, and community groups quickly shared images and videos, sparking vibrant discussions about the event. International media did not miss the moment. Numerous newspapers and news channels called Kate the new light of the royal family, analyzing her composure, confidence, and ability to maintain the image of the next generation. Articles focused on the king's message in the speech, highlighting his belief in loyalty over power and linking this to Kate replacing Camilla in the central role. Royal experts and television commentators interpreted this as a sign that media power within the palace was being adjusted, marking a turning point in royal representation strategy. Charles' decision directly affected Camilla's role and influence. Reports indicated that Camilla was excluded from key events, with her representative duties limited. Analysis showed that she was losing ground in official activities, from appearing with the king at diplomatic events to controlling domestic media coverage. This placed her in a very different position compared to her earlier status as a true queen of power, when she managed schedules and media. While public and media attention focused on Kate, the situation in Wiltshire told a different story. At Mill House, Camilla refused to remain silent in response to the king's decision. She gathered information about the event, analyzed articles, news coverage, and reactions from royal observers. Camilla was reportedly in contact with close associates to assess her next steps and prepare an appropriate response. The image of a proactive, observant, and calculating Camilla demonstrated her determination to maintain influence, even though her status had been diminished at the recent event. Observers from Wiltshire noted that Camilla's quiet anger grew with each passing hour. She meticulously monitored the event, public reactions, and Charles' decision, signaling that a counterplan was taking shape. Kate's appearance beside the king was not only a symbolic moment, but also the starting point for profound changes in power and influence among royal family members. Immediately after the moment of Kate standing beside the king went viral, Camilla withdrew from public view, citing rest for health reasons as the official explanation. This reason masked the reality that she was quietly preparing at Raymill House, Wiltshire. Insider sources revealed that Camilla was not simply resting. She was gathering documents, reviewing press releases, examining recent events, and noting witnesses who could support her influence. This retreat created an air of mystery, leaving the public uncertain about her next move. During Camilla's absence from public events, media began analyzing every movement from Raymill. Some anonymous reports revealed that Camilla felt betrayed and replaced. She realized that Kate was occupying the central position in the royal family, simultaneously becoming a new symbol embraced by the public. Camilla understood that her position was being challenged, and if she did not act, she risked losing power over key royal family decisions. Camilla's closest associates were summoned to assess the situation and propose the next steps. These included longtime assistants, media experts, and her personal advisors. All were tasked with gathering information on public reactions, analyzing articles in newspapers, social media posts, and even anonymous comments. Camilla not only wanted to understand developments outside, but also sought to control internal palace information, monitoring the decisions and moves of Charles, Kate, and even William. While Camilla withdrew, public opinion began to split sharply into two camps. One side defended Camilla, emphasizing her long-standing contributions to the royal family and asserting that she deserved the role she had held for many years. The other side supported Kate, praising her as the new light of the royal family, representing the next generation, and appreciating her central appearance beside the king. Social media commentary spread rapidly, with hashtags related to Kate and Camilla trending across Twitter, Instagram, and royal forums, fueling heated debates. In this context, William became a mediating figure. Numerous sources revealed that he tried to ease tensions, contacting Camilla to reduce strain while ensuring stability within the royal family. However, those close to him indicated that William quietly supported Charles's decision to replace Camilla with Kate. This support was not public, but it added pressure on Camilla, forcing her to consider a more strategic response. At Buckingham Palace, the atmosphere grew tenser than ever. Every decision was closely monitored, and internal information was kept strictly confidential. Each royal family member feared that secrets, power struggles, or undisclosed moves could be exposed. Media and royal analysts had noticed this as well, with anonymous sources continuously reporting on tensions within the palace. Pressure increased by the hour, as everyone had to act cautiously to avoid further disruption. Meanwhile, at Raymill, Camilla did not miss a single opportunity. She held private meetings with advisors, reviewing all documents related to the event, speeches by Charles and Kate, and public and media reactions. Every detail, from stage arrangements to the king's speech and Kate's central positioning, was carefully analyzed. Camilla identified weaknesses in Charles's strategy, looking for opportunities to restore her own position or at least create influence to balance power within the royal family. Insiders revealed that Camilla also began reaching out to those who had supported her in the past, reinforcing alliances and preparing contingency plans if tensions escalated. She understood that Kate's appearance and public reaction were not the final word. Royal media strategy and power dynamics were in transition, and Camilla had no intention of being sidelined. International media continued monitoring every move from Raymill, articles analyzing, commenting on, and speculating about Camilla's next steps appeared continuously, creating a divided public. One side sympathized with Camilla, the other continued to support Kate. This polarization increased tension, making every subsequent decision more critical than ever. Royal observers noted that this was a moment when Camilla could make her most significant move since Charles ascended the throne. Her public withdrawal was only the first step to observe, but a counter-strategy was quietly taking shape. Camilla was not simply waiting, she was actively monitoring, collecting data, analyzing reactions, and preparing a strategy that could shift the balance of power within the royal family. Immediately after the image of Kate standing beside the king spread across newspapers and social media, Camilla withdrew from public view. citing rest for health reasons as the official explanation. This reason masked her quiet preparations at Raymill House, Wiltshire. In reality, Camilla was not merely seeking rest. She spent her time monitoring all developments in the royal family, from Charles' decisions and Kate's new role to reactions from advisors, assistants, and palace members. She understood that Kate's moment was not just a change in image, but a signal of an underlying transfer of power. During the early days of her withdrawal, Camilla began reviewing all press releases related to the recent event. She analyzed how Charles' speech was delivered, the choice of words, the expressions, gestures, and Kate's positioning on stage. Every detail was recorded, every reaction evaluated to identify weaknesses to exploit. Camilla understood that information was power, and by controlling the data, she could influence the flow of authority within the royal family. Additionally, Camilla contacted longtime advisors and close assistants who had been with her for years. Meetings at Raymill continued nonstop, with important documents arranged, marked, and analyzed. She left nothing unexamined. From newspaper articles to social media commentary, every hashtag and comment was scrutinized to understand public sentiment, assess reactions, and prepare a responsive plan. This allowed Camilla to both consolidate her influence and gauge public trends, enabling her to adjust media strategy accordingly. Camilla's actions went beyond merely gathering information. She had to confront the feelings of betrayal and replacement. Numerous anonymous sources revealed that she recognized Kate was gradually taking over the central position she had once held within the royal family. Kate's continual presence beside the king, coupled with praise from the public and media, made Camilla acutely aware that her power and influence were under threat. This mindset was not merely a personal feeling, but a strategic concern. She knew that if she did not act, her position would deteriorate significantly. Camilla began constructing a quiet strategy to reassert her influence. She analyzed Charles's moves, anticipated the reactions of Kate and William, and prepared contingencies to respond to unexpected developments. Every decision was carefully considered, from keeping information confidential and selecting witnesses to contacting trusted palace sources. She understood that this was a unique opportunity to assert her power, yet any misstep could carry serious risks if exposed. During her days at Raymill, Camilla also closely monitored media reactions. Some articles defended her, emphasizing her long-standing contributions to the royal family, while Kate's supporters continuously praised her as the new light of the royal family. This stark division not only intensified public pressure, but also forced royal family members to weigh each action carefully to avoid further escalating tensions. Every move and calculation by Camilla took place in a highly tense atmosphere. She remained out of public view, yet her presence and influence at Raymill were constantly felt by those close to her. She knew that a quiet, well-timed strategy would determine her ability to maintain power and influence. The moment Kate's image standing beside the king was released, Buckingham Palace was engulfed in unprecedented tension. The media immediately split into clear camps, creating a polarized public debate. One side defended Camilla, emphasizing her long-standing status, unwavering contributions to the royal family, an irreplaceable role in major events. Articles, social media commentary, television programs, and hashtags such as #SupportCamilla and #QueenCamilla spread widely, becoming voices advocating for her in the public eye. Meanwhile, Kate's supporters continually praised her as the new light of the royal family, highlighting her youth, loyalty, and ability to continue the legacy. Hashtags like #KateTheFuture and #RoyalNewEra appeared prolifically across forums and social media, drawing public attention to the changes within the royal family. Every article and comment became critical data for palace advisors, used to assess the impact on the image and power of the king, Camilla, and Kate. In this context, Prince William played a delicate intermediary role. He continuously reached out to Camilla to ease tensions, striving to maintain family relationships and prevent internal conflicts from spiraling out of control. Yet, insiders noted that William quietly supported his father's decision, replacing Camilla with Kate at key events, consolidating Charles' authority and that of the next generation. This internal conflict created enormous mental pressure for the prince. Outwardly, he had to appear conciliatory and attentive to Camilla's feelings, while internally coordinating strategy with the king to protect the royal family's image and shape its future. Every meeting, call, and piece of information William relayed to palace departments was carefully considered, balancing diplomacy with strategic advantage. Tension within the palace grew increasingly pronounced. Every decision, no matter how small, was closely monitored. Staff, advisors, and assistants had to maintain absolute secrecy, as any leaked information could shock public opinion and undermine the royal family's image. Members of the royal family lived in constant vigilance. Internal meetings became tense, with words and actions carefully weighed, due to the ever-present fear of secrets being exposed or strategies being revealed by the media. This heightened tension directly affected the psychology of both the king and Camilla, making every step within the palace meticulously calculated. Meanwhile, Kate's influence was reinforced by public attention. Her image was praised in the press, closely followed by international media, generating strong public support. Kate's prominence effectively removed Camilla from the center of power. All of Camilla's efforts at Ray Mill faced increasing pressure from the media and public opinion, while other royal family members, including William, had to balance support with concern for family dynamics. Amid this context, Charles realized he could not straddle both lines. Retaining Camilla while protecting the royal family's image was nearly impossible. Every decision carried weight, directly impacting the king's prestige, authority, and future. The choice was now clear, yet fraught with pressure. Either maintain Camilla's position or safeguard the royal family's image by placing Kate at the center. From London to Edinburgh, from cafes to offices, conversations revolved around Charles's unexpected decision. Public opinion split immediately. One side praised the king for prioritizing the royal family, viewing him as enlightened for making a decisive move to protect the throne's image. The other side condemned him as betraying the woman who sacrificed everything for him. Articles, social media commentary, and television programs continuously highlighted the controversy surrounding this decision. In this context, Kate quickly became the focal point of the new royal family. Her image was elegant, understated, yet carried a subtle strength sufficient to lead important events and inspire public confidence. International media consistently referred to her as a symbol of the next generation, and each appearance demonstrated the shifting power within the palace. Her grace, ability to coordinate with Charles and other members, and loyalty evidenced in every small detail, positioned Kate as the new emblem, replacing the role Camilla had once held. In contrast, Camilla withdrew completely from public view. Her days of silence at Ray Mill House sent shockwaves through the public and sparked countless rumors, particularly surrounding the top-secret memorandum that Camilla continued to hold. This silence did not mean she had lost all power. On the contrary, it created an air of mystery, forcing the king and his advisors to exercise extreme caution in every subsequent move. Camilla may have once been the woman Charles loved, but Kate was the one the nation needed. In the king's eyes, the throne had never belonged to love. It was always a symbol of power in the royal family's image. Every decision, from replacing Camilla with Kate to managing media coverage and public reactions, was aimed at consolidating the new order and safeguarding long-term prestige. Yet the story was far from over. Just a few days later, a sudden move by Camilla forced the palace to convene an emergency meeting in the dead of night. Untold secrets, schemes lying in wait, promised to make the king's purge even more tense and unpredictable than ever before.